I want to do a review today on KMR Reptiles, and the owner is Matthew Runkle, and I want to introduce my new ball python that I got from KMR. I wanted to originally do an unboxing video, but I kind of forgot to charge my camera, so we're going to do it today. So this is actually one of KMR's shirts. You'll see the logo on the back. I also kind of have like a picture of the logo there on the sticker. This came with 2 of these stickers. And I just want to let you know that I was given the shirt because there was extra shirts printed. So I was given the shirt after I had said that I was very happy with my purchase. So I was going to do a positive review for my YouTube channel. So I was not sponsored to do this video. I wasn't asked to do this review, and the shirt has not changed or swayed anything that I'm going to say. So my review is completely honest and, non-biased, like non-paid off or anything like that. So Io here, he is a spinner bass blast ball python. He will be 2 years old at the beginning of this September. He's around 500 grams. And as you can see, he came perfectly healthy. No mites, no problems. You can see he's not shy. Like most ball pythons will ball up in your hand, which is how they get their name. He is not. You can see he's very active. He's explorative. He wants to look around. Kind of get a good look at his face there. See, he's nice and clean. Gorgeous, gorgeous snake. And I have been sort of on and off wanting a ball python for the last 2 to 3 years, but I always thought that they were very overpriced. A lot of the ball pythons I didn't like the price tag of, or they were from very shady sellers. So I was extremely picky about the particular look of the ball python I was going to buy. I had a small, low budget, at least low budget as far as anything above a normal ball python would be considered. And so I've been looking for a while. I was extremely picky about who I bought from as well, because ball pythons are known for being very picky with their food. It's usually due to stress, like a cage that's way too empty, or wrong parameters, or wrong food. So I wanted to make sure I was getting from a reputable breeder so I could trust that the snake was eating. I didn't want a very young baby ball python because, again, if it's older, I figured it's probably going to be a snake that's fairly well established as far as food and has good eating habits, that the breeder should be aware of what those habits are. Another stipulation I had is I absolutely refused to buy a ball python that was eating live rodents. I have trained several snakes off of live food onto frozen thawed, so it's not that I don't have experience doing that. It's because of how picky ball pythons were. Even with my experience getting snakes onto frozen thawed, or getting them off of something like fish or lizards onto frozen thawed unscented pinkies, I didn't want to do that with a ball python since they're known for being so picky with their food. I just was like, nope, it's got to be eating frozen thawed. So when I was looking on Morph Market, so that is where I came across KMR, it was morphmarket.com, and I found this beauty here. I had seen several other ball pythons that I really liked. They were within my price range. They were really nice, clean animals. The breeder had a lot of really good reviews. However, they were eating live, so I absolutely refused. Io here was sold as a snake eating frozen thawed rats, And he took a frozen thawed rat for me with absolutely no hesitation within that first week of having him home. And he has had about four meals now, consecutive meals in him. And he has given me no problems with frozen thaw. He has not been picky with his rats, not once. He hasn't been picky about how I present it or how well I have heated it, or even if he doesn't even care if it's got a little bit of freezer burn. He's given me absolutely no hesitation eating frozen thawed, and has been eating like a champ with as good of a feeding response as my Colombian boa, my BCI. So great. He is absolutely eating frozen thawed exactly how he was advertised, and he is eating like a champ exactly as advertised. And I love exactly as advertised. It's great. So I was very, very happy with my purchase experience. I had contacted Matthew with a couple of questions. He let me do a payment plan, a very short payment plan. It wasn't like I paid for him over several months. It was just a 1 month long payment plan because it was too cold to ship him quite yet. It was going to be about a month till temps were within a range that made us both more comfortable shipping him. So while we waited for the weather to warm up, I was able to actually split the payment for him across 3 to 4 weeks as my paychecks came in, so I didn't have to dump it all in one paycheck. Another thing that I absolutely loved about KMR Reptiles, sorry, I gotta watch this guy. He's very friendly, but I haven't handled him a lot, so I gotta keep an eye on him. Where was I? Another thing that I absolutely loved about KMR Reptiles is the prices that were advertised included overnight express shipping, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, how many reptile breeders, period, do you know put the price of shipping right in the price tag? So I was like, oh my God, free shipping? I'm already impressed. And then when he said yes to the payment plan while we waited for weather, it was a done deal. I didn't even stop to think about it anymore at that point, because that was just absolutely amazing. It was great customer service. It was great talking back and forth. Matthew was very informative about what size he was eating, how often he was eating prey, how old he was, and everything like that. As you know, the Spinner Blast is a morph of spider, so he's spider blood. So he was very upfront with the fact that he does have a very slight head wobble. I have only seen him wobble his head like once for 2 seconds, and I've had him since April. So I would say he maybe even over-exaggerated the amount of spider wobble, which is great because I would rather end up with less of a genetic issue I expected than more. So that was absolutely awesome. Snake's got great muscle tone, absolutely no mites, as I said, no problem feeding, and he's got a great personality. I mean, he's a ball python, and he's just roaming around, wants to check things out, super friendly, he's great, and he's got blue eyes. So before I tell you a little bit more about Io and how he got his name and why I chose him, I saved the packaging materials that he was packed in. Since I wasn't able to do an unboxing video since my camera was dead, I saved the entire box set up to show you guys so that you could at least see that he was packaged properly. So this is the box. You will see there on the front, you will see the live animal markings with the quantity and animal, which makes this packaging LACI compliant. You will see it's got a little bit of ventilation on it. The inside is completely lined with foam. It has this insert Everything's done with Ship Your Reptiles, so this has a little bit more information in it in case for Lacey reasons, it would need to be opened up. Completely lined. And then something that really impressed me that I've never seen before, it was great, you will see that instead of newspaper or foam packing peanuts, this is actually lined with this fluffy stuff. This is polyester stuffing that would be stuffed into teddy bears or quilts or cushions, something like that. It's just crafters, stuffing. And this is very shock absorbing, it's very soft, and then he was in a snake bag, which was tied shut so well, I thought I was going to have to cut the top of the bag off to actually open it because the snake bag was sealed that well. But he was actually underneath this fluffy stuff, and there was a heat pack right under the foam lid. I didn't say the heat pack, but there was a heat pack wrapped in newspaper under the foam lid. And this stuff and fluff, I'm going to call it, it's very soft. It really held the heat very well. It made it nice and warm. And when I uncovered the bag, I kind of took the box and I shook it back and forth like this. Not like very jarring, but kind of back and forth like this a little bit, sliding along the table. And that snake bag did not roll at all. It didn't shift other than when the snake, was poking his head. So this was really great at making sure the snake bag didn't roll while also being very efficient at keeping it nice and warm in here. So I was really impressed with this. I've never seen anyone do this. It's absolutely a wonderful, great idea. And I think anytime I ship a reptile, I'm going to pack my boxes like this from now on because I absolutely love this idea so very much. It was just absolutely awesome way to package a reptile. And I mean, this stuff isn't much more expensive. I mean, it's not free like newspaper, but it does a lot better job at insulating and protecting the animal from any vibrations during travel, in my opinion. So I give Matthew Runkle at KMR Reptiles an A+ rating. I would absolutely 100% buy from him again if I wanted a ball python, and it is going to be the first place that I send anybody who is looking for a ball python. I feel like the prices were absolutely very reasonable. They were very competitive. IO here was $200, and the Spinner Blast, for those who don't know, is a 3-morph combo of spider, pastel, and pinstripe. And what's really neat about this morph, if you pair it to a normal, you will still get morph babies. So I feel like the price was absolutely freaking fantastic for a snake this just absolutely clean and gorgeous. So now I'm going to tell you why I actually picked this particular snake out of literal thousands of ball pythons that I've had the chance to purchase over the last 2 to 3 years. So for starters, I've always liked the candy morphs and the banana morphs, which are yellow. So I really like the fact that he was yellow. I think yellow looks absolutely wonderful in a ball python for some reason. So I absolutely love the yellow. It's a very vibrant, it's almost like a very deep pastel yellow. I'm sure the camera is washing him out, but he is just an absolutely stunning shade of yellow. You can see along that back stripe there, he's got all of this dark gray flecking, and that goes from head to tail down his back. And I have really been wanting a granite morph of some sort of snake, which have a lot of speckles like this. So it kind of really combined that sort of granite look, having that down his spine. I like that the spider markings are very thin and don't cover up a lot of his color. And lastly, I originally wanted a blue-eyed Lucy because I think you know, a big white snake's great. And then I started realizing that a big white ball python was kind of boring when you have all these different colors and morphs and patterns and varieties within the species. Plus, I didn't want to pay $350 to $450 for one. So, but what's really awesome is I noticed right away online that this guy actually has blue eyes. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But he has these, they're like a light blue eye. They're not very, sometimes they're darker than other times. I wouldn't say they're not really that blue now. They're more, they're like blue at the edges and like hazel in the center. But he definitely had blue eyes. Whatever. He's still awesome. He's beautiful. The only thing that I would have preferred would have been if he would have had a lot more white on his sides, because, you know, I like blue-eyed Lucy's, so I'm a sucker for things like sugar bee morphs and things like that have very high white sides, piebald, stuff like that. So I would have liked if he would have had higher white on the sides, but he's still absolutely gorgeous. Like, he's just, his colors are bright, his colors are clean, his pattern is very precise. This is a very high quality ball python in my opinion, especially compared to a lot of things that I've seen from breeders at my local reptile show and stuff like that. He's just absolutely gorgeous and bright and clean and healthy and exactly as advertised. So as I've mentioned, his name is Io. That is spelled I and then O, so literally how it sounds. And he got his name because of his patterning. Io is the innermost and the second largest moon of the planet Jupiter. It is a yellow moon which is covered in gray and white volcanic ash. So I thought it was very fitting because he's very yellow, and the flecking down the back almost looks like he's sprinkled with ash. So I thought the name was absolutely perfect for him. He's probably, I think he's the reptile with the shortest name in my entire collection. So that is him. I absolutely recommend KMR Reptiles to anybody as a first stop shop. And especially if you're looking for a ball python that is well established and eating frozen thawed regularly, great place to go. Every single snake that he had available when I bought Io was eating frozen thawed. He had a very small inventory at that time because it was outside of baby season, but I would assume that for the most part, just from what I've seen, more than likely most of what he's going to offer is going to be eating frozen thawed. Or at the very least, you can count on it regularly taking whatever it is listed as eating. So that is him. Io is an educational snake, which is why I wanted a ball python. They're great for the kids, and I absolutely love how active he is. Matthew had said he was a shy snake. Does it look like a shy snake? So again, I would say, you know, things were over-exaggerated, and it's definitely a pleasant surprise to be expecting this shy ball python that was like never going to uncurl out of a ball and get this, you know, very inquisitive, active snake. So, and the pictures were online were absolutely wonderful. The pictures did him really good justice as far as, you know, what he looked like. It was definitely an up-to-date photo. He didn't like show a photo of him when he was a baby or anything like that. He actually showed an up-to-date photo of the snake. I noticed some breeders have you know, several-month-old photos of their snakes on their ad page because they've had the snake so long trying to sell them and forget to update the photo, and you know, like 5 sheds have gone by and the color is lighter or darker, the pattern's changed, and then people will get the snake and be like, this looks only remotely like what I thought I was getting kind of deal. So the picture was up to date. So that is another awesome thing. I can't say enough good things. Let's put it that way. I cannot say enough good things. He was very responsive, even after I got IO, just letting him know that he was settling in well and stuff. So, all right. If you have any questions about KMR, I will attempt to answer them. Or you can go find KMR Reptiles on morphmarketusa.com and directly ask him questions there if there's anything particular you want to ask him. All right.